The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. Thank you very much for being here. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, all that. Check out the podcast. We got plenty of episodes for you to be entertained for hours now. Alrighty, and today, just like every single episode that we do, we have an amazing person, artist, Latina, that's doing her thing, and she's gonna talk to us today. We have an artist, songwriter, rapper, creator, event coordinator. In 2008, she launched her debut career. She's from Dallas, Texas. She started doing music at 8 years old. She's a vinyl lover, wrestling lover, Chisme lover. Sonia Kilo, your friendly neighborhood chismosa, ability to spot a chisme from a mile away.
That's probably one of the best introductions I've ever had. It's very thought out, and I feel like you did a lot of research to be able to really think of that introduction. And I honestly, can I use that for the rest of my life? Okay,
absolutely. It's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna live there forever. And I usually somebody I interview that has a lot of material out there. I submerge myself in like a week's worth of interviews and different little things that I hear. I'm like, I want to know about that.
No, that's good. That's one of my things that I appreciate about this day and age of podcasting, because you can really tell who really takes their craft seriously. Yeah. And I love good interviews.
All right, we're on to a good start. We're gonna make it even better. All right, so we're gonna do a segment that we call Preguntas al Chile.
Preguntas al Chile.
Preguntas al Chile. Turn into English. Questions al pepper. I haven't got it yet. Let's see where we got it. Okay, here we go. Tacos o burritos?
Tacos, definitely.
Corn or flour tortillas?
Maíz.
Enchiladas or flautas?
I'm going to say enchiladas because I love enchiladas de verde. Love.
Mm-hmm. Mexican Coca or jarrito?
Neither.
Mm-mm. No soda?
I don't drink any soda. Yeah.
Good. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, aguas. Speaking of aguas, horchata, jamaica, tamarindo.
Jamaica.
Yeah. Salsa verde, salsa roja. I think I know the answer.
Verde.
I love that too.
Like money.
Yeah. Menudo or pozole?
Pozole.
Churros or flan?
Flan.
Since your family's from Celaya, cajeta or chocolate candy?
I would say chocolate candy.
Corona, Dos Equis, Modelo, do you drink beer?
I don't drink beer, but the times that I do drink is when I'm really drunk, and it's Modelo.
Modelo. Okay. Tequila or mezcal?
Tequila.
Valentina, Tapatio, or Cholula?
Valentina. I just feel like it sounds more beautiful. Yeah, Valentina.
It does. My name's Valentin.
Yeah.
That's why I like it too. Paletas de sandía, de elote, or the mango ones?
Sandía. Oh, it's a tie. Mango and sandía are like really hand in hand.
You can take both. You can have whatever you want. Okay, this is one that I know you like for sure. Conchas, but which ones though? Brown, white, or pink?
Pink.
Ooh, there we go. All right, so again, I feel like the interview is about you. I know you've done plenty of them, but out of all the interviews that you had, has there been one that you're like, man, I wish they would ask me about this or that? Anything that comes into mind?
I haven't really done any interviews in a long time. I feel like as an artist, I've had some really good interviews. People definitely did their research, and there's really not a lot that they can know about me when you're still just up and coming artist. So no, I think everyone pretty much covered everything. But I would say, since I have not done interviews in the past year and I've evolved so much as a person, this is like new ground, new territory. It's kind of I'm really excited to be here because I just feel like so much has happened in the past year that a lot of people are going to be really surprised as to find out. Like, I feel inspired. I hope they're inspired.
All right. So what's one thing right now that's happening with you that people are not used to as far as what you were doing before?
So definitely whenever I took a break from being an artist, I took a break because I dabbled in the world of curating events. So I curated events when I was an artist. It wasn't something that was unknown to me because I am type A when it comes to things. When I'm a part of something, I will look at every detail and think, they should have did this. So through my years of being an artist, I gathered those things and those experiences, and I looked at how the consumer would interact at these shows or whatever I was a part of, and I really, kept it as my research. And whenever I would curate events, I would really make sure like everything I wanted to be an experience. So when it came time for me, I think last April, I kind of hit rock bottom as an artist. Nothing major happened to me. I was just kind of like, we were on the heels of
the pandemic. Still, yeah.
And so it changed a lot of things for me. I definitely in 2020 I had to hustle my ass off as an artist, harder than I had ever been before, and put everything online. And it really just being consumed by online stuff is a hard, because there's never any time for you to just put the phone down, because everybody was online during the pandemic. Everybody was online. TikTok was blowing up. Everybody was going live all the time. I remember during 2020, I had some of the probably most interviews virtually than I ever had before. And it was in different cities, and I had to take advantage of every single one. But I kind of felt lost. What am I supposed to do now? I had, my single, The Girls, out in 2020, and it was doing amazing. I had released Smile. It was doing amazing. And then I kind of felt like I can't travel, which I was used to doing. I can't go and do shows. So 2021 came, and I released an EP called Homegirl, which I still love to this day.
Yeah.
And I think April came, and I was like, I need to do something that shows more of how I care about the artistry of music. And so I had already thought of the idea, Carne Asada Fest, for I think a year and a half. And I had actually mentioned it to a couple of people, and they kind of just looked at me like,
if I'm not mistaken, it started with a gentleman. It's a phrase that you use, which is you're invited to the barbecue, but you're invited to the Carne Asada. And it was a gentleman that did a grito, I think. And then that's when
I had always said that to people, just in general. I always tell people, oh, you're invited to Carne Asada. When I'm online and somebody does something crazy that's like not a Latino, I always tell them that, oh, you're invited to Carne Asada. I grew up in a neighborhood that was predominantly white. So, yeah.
So, I don't want to say, again, I know about you. I know quite a bit.
It's okay. So basically, I grew up where people would always come to our carne asadas. And so I got to see that interaction and how they put. So I, in my mind, was like, I want to create a festival, and I wanted to call it Carne Asada. And no one really paid attention to me, but it was cool. I mean, I was just like, okay. Every time promoters would be like, we need you on the show. And I would try to tell them, y'all should really do this. They wouldn't listen to me. So I was like, okay.
Have you ever feel like certain things were meant to be? Like, you know what I mean? Like it was given to you to bring to light. And even though you're saying it to everybody, like almost screaming at their faces, they're really not listening to you because it was for you to make happen. You know what I mean?
I think if I look back on it now, my career was always me opening the doors for me, because I honestly don't think in Dallas anyone really pays attention to local artists until they're making a lot of like basically almost to the top, because they're like, oh, what they're doing is working. It's hard for people in Dallas to pay attention to somebody that they're not sure if what they're going to do is going to pop off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I definitely think that I was given the tenacity to be able to kind of force things to happen for myself.
Right.
So I definitely think things happen the way that they're supposed to happen with me.
Because I know where you're coming from in that part. I dabble a little bit on the music industry, and I know what you're talking about. But now thinking back, it's like if I would have continued staying on my lane and work and pushing, because that's where it was heading anyways, right? It was heading towards independence. It was heading towards, it doesn't matter if they care, if they were paying attention. As long as the rest of the world and everywhere around were like listening, then that's all that mattered. And then eventually all the other people were going to come.
Yeah.
So so finally, when did you decided to go ahead and get this? Because this is going to be the second year.
Second year. So I was having a really bad day, and I just kind of was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to find. It was crazy kind of how it happened, because I was I had reached out to one of my friends, and I had who did shows. She was like one of the only females in Dallas that were curating events also, that was putting
Stephanie.
Yeah, she was putting on some really big shows. And the first time she kind of was she told me straight up, she was just like, I'm not doing shows anymore. And that was like a week before. And then I came and I chased her again a week later, and I was like, please, like, I need you to, you kind of like in today's environment, I feel like you need that person that understands you.
Right.
And so easy for me to work with people that see me, you know? Stephanie always saw me. So whenever she was like, okay, I'm down, you know, to help you, I went back to my desk at my house and I'm scrolling on Facebook. I found the venue. Crazy. I was like, Stephanie, we got to go look at this venue. And I had already told Stephanie, you know, like the idea that I wanted to do. I was like, this is how I want it to go down. I feel like this is what Dallas needs. And so she was like, okay. And like within a 6-week time frame, we put everything together, the artists, the food vendors, and it just took off. Like, it was insane how fast it grew, the traction. I've never seen anything happen so fast, but I think it really had to do with the fact that things were opening back up and people wanted out and people wanted to experience things.
Yeah, timing though.
Yeah.
Time is everything.
Yeah. So,
okay, so you never done, like, I know you've done it in a smaller scale, like your event, because it does take some coordination as far as what goes where and everything. But if you're saying like curating and different, there's like a method to it, right?
Yeah.
So how much did you wing? How much did you have to research? And how much did you actually, now you got a system down?
I would say I didn't research anything.
Really? It just came to you?
I didn't research anything. I really just looked at the events that I was part of and always saw how things kind of happen and what I didn't like and what I always thought could be better. Do you know what Lean Six Sigma is?
No.
It's like where people look at things and they can tell a better process to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Is that from your degree?
Yeah.
Medical?
So basically, I didn't know I was that person. I didn't even know these type of people existed. But it's pretty much anything that you see, you're always going to think there's a better way to do it. Not because you're better than them, but just because it's more efficient. Right?
Yeah.
So
the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
I'm always working that way too. I'm like, why are you doing it that way? Why can't you
like
do
it's
it?
like why work smarter, not harder, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't do research necessarily. Like whenever I look back on my brand, I was like, what worked, what intrigued people, and I just utilized those like key parts to really for the marketing.
What about like the contracts and all the other stuff and things like, you know what I mean? The little stuff.
Because I was because I've been an artist for at that time 3 or 4 years. I knew how contracts worked. I knew what artists I wanted on lineup because they were my friends or I had already been following them. That's one of the other big things that I do when I'm online and I see you as an artist. I'll save you because I'm number one, am intrigued by you, and number two, I'm just like I want to see where they go, and if I can bring them to Dallas, I want to bring them to Dallas, you know?
Yeah.
What if they're not in Dallas? So the music part and the food part, we had it down. We knew exactly how we wanted it to go. I knew I wanted the Carne Asada Fest to be very multi-genre, because I think about a playlist at a Carne Asada. It's, you know, you go through so many types of music. It always starts off with the cumbias. And then towards the end, it's like everybody's playing whatever they want to play. Like they got the auxiliary cord and it's just going through playlists of whether it's Dallas music, whether it's country. So that's kind of the way that I saw it. And it just, I mean, now year 2, way bigger. It probably went from a size 2 to like a size 10.
Yeah, I grew a lot.
So
even artist wise, I seen some of the lineup that you have, and I think it changed a little bit from the last time I seen it, but it grew big.
yeah, I mean, we didn't bring everyone back from last year because we really wanted to focus on artists that were on a bigger scale also, you know, in order for us to do that, you know, they had to take out more of the slots. But yeah, our local artists are amazing. Steve Garcia, Ray Berger's killing it right now. I've always been a fan of Ray Berger, but I'm so glad he's doing amazing on TikTok, because TikTok is a whole other beast.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's definitely a powerful tool.
I found a lot of TikToks of you too.
Yeah.
Most family stuff too, which I was surprised.
Yeah. I started doing that more. I think in this past year was showing my family more. Yeah. I had a lot of weird stuff as an artist. Things happen, a lot of stalkers.
I'm very curious about one particular situation. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. Okay, so now you got everything down as far as like the event, you got the date. Let's talk about the event in general, because I think that's what's going to happen, and we're going to release the episode before it actually, so, you know, we can get the message out. So it's going to happen May
29th, which
May
is Memorial
29th.
Day weekend. It's a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
and its doors open at 2 p.m. Kids 12 and under get in free. We do encourage the kids to bring a canned good, just because we're trying to also give back to the community. So we're like, you're going to get in free, but please bring a canned good. Do your part. And then we have over 25 of the best authentic food vendors. The reason why I say authentic is because that was one of my favorite parts about the Carne Asada was learning the food vendors' stories. Like they're real people. Right. You know, when you go to like other events, I'm not going to say any names, other festivals.
Yeah, sure.
And they have food and then you're kind of like, none of this is really tastes like home to me. Like it says it's tacos, but the people that are making the tacos don't look like my people back home, you know? So, and it's really a franchise typically, or it's, you know, they just slapped on a Hispanic, you know, name to make you think that you're eating it. And so that's why I put authentic on the flyer, because these people, they come from generations and generations of recipes, you know, from passed down through their family. And it's just, the food's amazing. And it's definitely, I would say, you know, when you go to the state fair,
right,
everybody goes for the food.
Yeah.
This is the exact same thing, because they come up with some of the craziest things. Like we got pupusas, but we have pupusa bombs, which is a huge pupusa loaded with cheese.
I seen something with wings and pizza, or what was the thing that I seen? Something Patron. Is it,
Pizza Patron is our sponsor.
But they doing a type of pizza, aren't they?
Carne Asada pizza. They already had it actually. They had it out already. They came out in 2020, but the pandemic kind of messed up their whole marketing thing. But Pizza Patron has this Carne Asada pizza and the chori queso pizza. And that collab was a dream come true for me. And I think if
you and Patron, or
I think if anybody takes anything from this interview, is I come from no background of doing any type of marketing other than myself as an artist. To be able to collab with other brands on these levels and just kind of like the team and I just look at it and think this will fit, like this will go together. And us pitching ourselves to people and them really seeing us. Like I remember these conversations with the marketing guy, Pizza Patron. His name's Juan. He's been with Pizza Patron since I think 14 years. He comes from Oak Cliff. You know, Pizza Patron stores, they first opened in Pleasant Grove and Oak Cliff back in the 80s. So they're truly like in the neighborhood, you know? And that's why I was like, I need you guys a part of the Carne Asada Fest, because I like what you guys represent. You know, Taco Bueno wanted to sponsor us, and we're like, that don't make any sense. No. Could you, even though they have a Carne Asada, we're like, that wouldn't make any sense. I would pretty much look like I sold out by taking their money, you know?
Definitely. Do you think that's going to be like the foundation and like the DNA of the festival moving forward, as far as that specifically, like the authentic people that have their own stories and recipes passed on? Or you don't know at this time because it's fairly still new? So
that's what I want it to be for as many years as it can come. You know, as things grow, more people become more involved. You know, I know that people are going to see us and want to be a part of it and want to invest. But with investments comes their vision. So we're still very new. We're still trying to make sure that we're taking care of the baby the way that it has to be taken care of, so that it doesn't grow into a terrible monster.
True to that. I forgot to ask you one question on the Preguntas al Chile. Slip up. So what is Latino to you?
Elaborate on that.
Just what does it mean to you, a Latino, or being a Latino, or the word Latino itself?
I mean, honestly, it's, to me, Latino is always a big, you know, like, anytime I can say I'm a Latina or I'm a Latino, I'm very proud to say that. It takes a lot to be able to live in both worlds, to be able to say, you know, I am of the Hispanic or the Mexican descent, but I live here in the United States. Right. So I would just say it's just a very strong, like, noble thing to be a part of. And I'm very proud that is where I come from, because I'm able to put flavor into everything that I do, and able to like and introduce things to people in a loving way. Because I think Latino, the word Latino, and just our families, our traditions are very loving. Yeah.
You know what I like about the whole concept of the Carne Asada is the fact that, like you said, when you put in the playlist, is that it could be anything, for the fact that we enjoy all kinds of stuff, like from the hip hop to the rock to like whatever. It's just like different kinds of stuff. And the fact that the carne asada in general is like a lot of our cultures, like Latino from different places, do certain things like that. They're known for doing their carne asada. They're known to have something like that.
Yeah.
And that kinds of, and it's always a family thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the thing where is the appeal that the people are like, because it's like a every weekend or every Sunday, every Saturday type of thing. You know what I mean?
You're invited to the carne asada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think definitely it's a family feel, and that's why we encourage families to come out.
Yeah.
And last year we had some of the like coolest little interaction with the kids. They were just like, their parents were like, this was the best concert I enjoyed and my kids enjoyed. I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah. And I know that you have variety as far as the artists. So tell me about the lineup, because I know certain things. So the location, first of all, where is it going to be at?
Gilly Southside Ballroom.
Mm-hmm. And that's 1135 Botham Jean Boulevard?
South Botham Jean Boulevard.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So when I saw the lineup, this is what I have, but I think it changed and it grew a little bit. So I have DJ set by Nina Sky, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Bo Bunny, Big Tuck, El Dusty, Ray Berger, Alex Aguilar, Beatriz Gonzalez, Steven Garcia, Sol de la Cumbia, the Kid Brothers, Josie.
Yeah, Yossi.
And then I have DJ Mad, Unique, and DJ Alva G,
Yes.
right?
We also have Nate God that will be there. Nate God is also is a local artist in Dallas who's had much success. He has that song "Take a Shot to Make a TikTok," and yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. So
Yeah.
that's what's up. And somebody else that I seen, Cumbia King.
Oh yes, yeah. We just added DJ Kane from the Cumbia Kings, which I'm so excited. I actually met him. I had went on tour, not on tour. I did the Dallas stop for MC Magic show, Lost in Love.
Oh yeah, you
And so many people were at that show, like so many big artists. And I remember I had Kilo Bites, which is some of my candies, and him and his wife had came up to me, and I remember I looked at him and I was like, "You're DJ Kane, right?" He was like, "Yeah." And we talked. He saw the flyers for the carne asada, and he was just like, he was telling his wife Ginger, he was like, "We should go to this." And I remember thinking I need to ask him, but I forgot to ask him. He got into an accident.
Ouch.
Yeah, they got into a car accident. They're okay now, and
He's
so
doing better.
yeah.
That's good.
And so I talked to Ginger, his wife, and I was like, "I'm so sorry, this is late, but please, like, is he available?" And they were like, "Yeah." So I'm excited to see DJ Kane because I listen to all my favorite Cumbia King songs, and that's, his voice.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. So what else can people expect in this besides having like a family, a good concert, unique type of food as far as the recipes and certain dishes that they're gonna see? What else can people expect?
We also have the grito contest, which is one of my favorite parts. The grito contest is so cool because everybody thinks that they can do a grito, and so you look at them, and you're just like, go ahead, give it your best shot. And they're up there. When people start drinking, they're really brave.
But that doesn't mean they can do a good grito.
And the video that you saw was Brandon. I didn't know him at that time. And at that time, I didn't have Carne Asada Fest. It was a week later, I think, where I was like, we're going to put the Carne Asada Fest together. So I actually tracked him down. Everybody, when I posted that video, everybody was like, that's my friend. And I was like, find him. We're going to bring him to the Carne Asada Fest. And I found him, and he came, and he did his grito in front of me.
Did you win?
Nah, he didn't win. But that's a good grito.
No, but still, it is. Okay, so for people that don't know what a grito is, right? A grito is what Mexicans do usually when they're drunk and they're singing, usually mariachi. So they channel all Chente. R.I.P. Chente. All the bad stuff that happened to them, all the heartbreaks, all the suppression, all from the Spaniards taking our money, our gold, our women, all that, they channel it, and it comes out to a freaking, I can't do it, but that's what it is, right? Yeah. I can do it, but I'm just saying it sounds so horrible. But that's what comes out, right? And it's it sounds like a cry of war.
It is, yeah.
But it's unique to the ones that know how to do it good. Mm-hmm. I tried it for a few times, just couldn't quite, and it wasn't my thing. I don't drink heavily like that.
Yeah, I don't drink heavily either. But
that's part of it. I'm not saying you need to, but I'm saying
it gives you courage.
Yeah, it does.
It puts some hair on your chest.
It does, and it kind of brings out again all those feelings and stuff. And that's pretty cool that you have that.
Yeah, I grew up. It's so funny. I look back on it now. I always I don't even think about it, but almost everything that I have done in my career, I have taken from growing up.
Yeah.
So, when I first started as an artist, I had this fundraiser in order for me to pay for my first music video. It was called Concha and a Kilo. You would buy a concha and I would come and deliver it to you.
For real?
Yes. And growing up, I love conchas, but my dad would always call me Sonia y las conchas, my friends.
Oh, las conchas, your friends.
So
most of them were some of your videos from what I've seen, right?
Yeah, and then my dad growing up would call me a chismosa. And so that's the reason why. It's just really funny. And my dad grew up doing gritos at every party all the time. Gritos all day, nonstop. I asked him to do it at the last Carne Asada Fest, but he said no. He doesn't drink anymore, so that's probably why he didn't do it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so anything else on the festival you want to touch on?
I mean, we got the grito contest. We just have, El Dusty was another big DJ that we really loved. He puts on this experience of not only just being an amazing DJ, but a live band performs with him. Like, we're talking about a banda.
For real?
Yes.
Damn, I haven't seen him.
It's an experience. But yeah, I mean, we have so many people that are going to be out there. We're going to have a family interactive section where kids can come and get their face painted for free. Other things such as that. Pizza Patron will be out there having fresh pizza. So definitely try the Carne Asada pizza. And yeah, I mean, music inside and outside.
So I have a confession to make again because I'm a Mexican. I was born in Mexico, right?
What part?
Morelos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not Celaya, but Morelos. And there's more south, like, because you can see by my skin tone, I'm a little shorter. So that's how you
Why
originally
do
recognize.
they say that? Why
It's
do they?
true, though.
You
I don't know
really?
why. It's like, so the people from the norte,
Did
like
the Spain
Guanajuato,
go more there?
less, I think. We're still more, not, I guess we could say a little bit more native. I don't know. I just know that my people are a little darker and shorter than the ones in the norte. It really is. It's just not like, not every single one of them, don't get me wrong, but the majority are just like, kind of built like me a little bit. But it's just the way it happens is like, again, that's how it is. And so I'm not used to some of the things, like, I lost the train of thought. I don't even know what I was saying.
Your confession.
Okay, my confession. So I'm Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I stopped eating meat a while back.
Oh, okay.
But are they gonna have something for people?
Yes.
That okay.
So we actually have a vegan. I'm so glad I found him. He's a Planta Potosi, and they
Nice.
are amazing. Like the video I have on our IG, if you go to Carne Asada _Fest, you'll see their reel that we put up for them. Their food, like one of the craziest things to me about vegan food is it will taste just like you're eating meat.
Yeah.
Because the way that they season it and like, jackfruit or whatever that they use, I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it probably really, it probably is true. To people that eat carne, I'm so sorry, but it probably is true. If you cut carne out for a little bit, I think it adds more years to your life.
Yeah. I think it's a good practice to do so.
It's a good cleanse.
I always thought, even the last few people that have been here that brought some recipes and stuff like that, I told them about, like, it really is something that is going to bring you some bucks, because it's going to be it's a lot more of a thing now, right? So 4 years when I started, there wasn't a lot of vegan options, only like handful, like maybe 2 or 3. Now it's like
everywhere.
A lot. So you're missing on some bucks if you don't do it. And I think it's good for your body overall to just take a little break from it and let your body process all that stuff, the meat, and then, like I said, a little cleanse a day or two is not gonna hurt nothing.
Yeah.
And then our people, like Mexicanos, like the people that our ancestors didn't used to eat every day. You know what I mean? It was mostly beans, corn,
and papas,
frijoles, and things like chile.
That's very true.
And here and there, we went and grabbed a rabbit or a turkey, and then we got to eat some meat.
Well, it's so funny. Whenever my family comes from Mexico, or my husband's family mostly, when they come from Mexico, they have a lot of lunches where there's not meat, because they don't have access to a lot of meat in the rancho, which is crazy to think of, but it's just because like they have a lot of like pan and papas and stuff like that.
Huevos.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at him like, that's so crazy to me.
Where I grew up, I might have had meat once a month sometimes, but everything else is, I don't know if huevos be considered, but huevos, frijoles, tortillas, chile every single time. And my mom, and it's crazy because Mexicans, for those few ingredients, we can make a lot of stuff.
I know. I love seeing on TikTok when or like people from Mexico are going viral for the way that they make their food for real. And I'm like, us back home, I'm thinking to myself, I don't have an outside kitchen like that. Like, it's literally rocks.
Yeah.
Like,
that's how you used to cook.
I'm like, I don't have an outside kitchen like that, and I don't feel like it's gonna come out the same on my stove.
We used to have a bracero. My mom used to be outside with the thing,
Yes,
and cooking like that. That's how I came up. And my favorite dish for me is they call them different sopes, but picaditas. We call them picaditas on mine. They're a little bit thinner, and they pinch them and put oil
on
it's
the
almost
side.
the same thing.
You pinch it the side just like a sopa,
yeah,
right?
kind of almost the same, but it's not exactly the same thing. It's almost the same, but it's not. I love them things.
So let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
For corn, there's elote and there's esquite.
Yeah.
I say esquite. People are like,
Okay, so there are two different recipes though. The corn is just the maize. Either they just boil it and then put the other stuff. The esquite is actually a technique that you do with it. You actually fry it with some spices. I forget it left me, but there's a specific spice that you put on it, and then you put it the esquite
because it's more roasted, I think.
Well, it is the spices that you put on it. You have to roast it, and the other one they boil it. Like the regular corn in a cup. And then the esquite, you cook it.
So I thought the esquite was always the corn on the cob.
No, that was just the corn on the cob.
So
from what I know, right?
We don't know.
People from other parts of like the norte, because even though we're Mexicans, we talk different. And then a lot of times they'll be like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Like there's things like obviously in Texas, there's a lot of Tex-Mex stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever people would come from Mexico, like our family, and I'd be like, I'm making flautas. They'd be like, what? Is that?
Do you know what?
I'm like, I don't know what flautas are.
Col or repollos, freaking, what's it called? So here, when I got here, I used to call a certain thing col, but it's repollo. Not lettuce, the other one, the green one. Why can't I remember stuff right now?
The green lettuce?
It's not green lettuce, it's the, what is it called? I can't really, I'm forgetting
Okay, come
things.
back to it.
Yeah, I'll come back to it.
I'm going to Google, what's green lettuce?
Not the lettuce, but the other one. The other one that looks like a little bit.
Oh, cabbage.
Cabbage.
Okay,
so when we got here, cabbage, where I'm from, they used to call it col.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, it is col.
But other here, they call it repollo. Other people around started calling it repollo, so we started calling it repollo. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So the esquites they use, they fry, and then the other one, they boil them, and then they put like other stuff on it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference. But it's corn.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. I just sometimes, so we're actually, okay, now that we're on corn, we actually have two types of corn at the Carne Asada. We have the corn in the cup, and then we actually have a guy that's coming out he has a roaster where you see the corn going like this. He has a whole trailer, and like, I was like, you got to come to the Carne Asada. You know, he's not Latino, but I was like, you have to come to the Carne Asada. We love corn.
Oh, yeah, we love corn.
And I love corn on the cob. I just feel like it's better roasted because, like, my husband's family, like, so my last name, Kilo, they were farmers, for sure. And they grew corn.
Yeah.
And his grandfather, all he would do was he would take his burro to the fields.
Yeah.
He would get his corn. He would be asleep too, and the burro would know his way home.
Yeah,
that's like a Tesla, right?
They do, yeah.
That was a Tesla back in the day.
Heck yeah!
But he would do everything by hand. He would have a whole room full of corn where he would be taking off. Then his wife would go and make the maize, tortillas, and it was just like one of them things where anytime anybody in his family would get corn, they would take it right off of the grill. They would throw it in the air to have it cool down, and then they would eat it just like that.
Yeah.
None of the family is farmers anymore.
Well, you know what's funny? That from that area, Guanajuato, that area is where actually corn originated from.
Really?
Corn is originally from Mexico. It came off from, they don't even know how actually they found that it could create corn, but they say it comes from some kind of grass they used to kind of pop like popcorn.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't know how it originated from there, but it is original corn.
I wish he was still here. I wish his grandpa was still here because he would tell us.
Yeah, and the esquites, the ones I know, they put epazote, which epazote is just like a green thing. Looks like almost like cilantro, but they cook it with that. That's the ones that I know. Yeah, so that's cool though. But again, then you have, see how we can just grab one ingredient and make, so you have like boiled corn, and then you have
Corn on the
roasted
cob,
corn,
yeah.
and then you have the esquite one.
Yeah. No, there's
Yeah.
so many. There's
Yeah.
so many ways like to make really good food, and I'm still kind of like I try. Like I make mole. Mole is pretty good, but I definitely don't make the mole like they do in certain parts of Mexico. Like I'm learning that.
Do you make the sweet one or the spicy one?
So mine's in between. So like even the salsas that I see people, when they come from Guanajuato, I'm like, look at their food. I'm like, why is it so spicy? Like it's tearing up my stomach.
Yeah.
Everything I have to eat with milk.
Yeah, that's true.
But they love that. Like their stomachs are just made for it, and mine is not.
Yeah, it is. It's generations after generation. You got to get used to it. So if you stop eating spicy for a while, your tongue doesn't get used to it. You have to build back up.
And your stomach
the
don't get
tolerance.
used to
Yeah,
it.
that too. So what I was thinking about the food too is that another thing that we have besides the music as Latinos, and that I think why it's becoming a success, is the fact that we can like make all kinds of stuff, right? We're not like in a box of certain things, right? So if it's corn on a cob or corn in a cup, they find ways to take it up another level. Same with the pizza. Pizza, but now it's carne asada pizza,
Yeah.
And then hamburguesas and all the other stuff. We just got that.
I love hamburguesas. I
Yeah.
really wish I found somebody to do, because a hamburger in Mexico is just so different.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
So
not the
I was
same.
like, I tried to look for one, but I couldn't find one.
There's some in the cliff.
There is?
Yeah. I know. I went to a place before. They have some pretty decent hamburguesas. I don't know if it's the same kind
Oh,
you're
there
talking
is.
about.
It's off of the highway.
Yep, I think so.
I went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I need to go back.
I'm just saying. Okay. So I think it was everything from the event,
Mm-hmm.
right? So good luck to it. I think I'm pretty sure you're doing well, and it's going to continue to grow. And it's a great idea. It's a great idea as far as the idea that it just came to be. Do you remember the exact moment when you decided, like, I'm going for it? You remember
Yeah,
that?
I was really sad that day.
You were super sad.
I was so sad that day. I felt like as an artist, I was in this, like, when they talk about, I'm trying to think something biblical, but I can't think of it right now. Like you're just at that moment in your life and you're like, God, send me an answer right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the type of person where if something's beating me down and is weighing heavy on me,
Right.
it makes me more mad. And then I fight my way out of it. And the way that I fight my way out of it is through creating something that's going to be successful. And that kind of gives me motivation and drive. It gets very tiring though. Mm-hmm. I will say, I wish things came really easy so I didn't have to work so hard, but they don't. Things don't come easy. You really have to put in a lot of time especially in today's society where everything is so fast.
Yeah.
Everything's so instant.
Yeah.
Like you got to be on the know. So yeah, that day just was one of them times where I was like, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it now. And Stephanie saying, okay, like I'll do it. I'll do it with you. I'm like, okay.
What'd you tell her that made you convince her? Because she was, I don't know about
I think
her.
it's because I was so sad, honestly. And it's so funny because her and I always say we're like twins because we know what each other's thinking.
Really?
And it's super weird. I'm like, can you please stop? I'm like, can you please stop? Can you get it? Like,
you
we can
communicate
yes.
telepathically?
I'm like, we can just look at each other and know. Or sometimes like we could be texting each
Yeah.
other and I have to call her right away because I'm like, I already know what you're thinking. I already know it. And she's like, I don't like. And I'm like, I know. So we are very on each other 100%. We know how
Yeah.
each other thinks. We know how this is going to make them think. We know when somebody addresses us a certain way, we're we didn't like that. There's just a lot of like going into this now that it has gone so big. We meet a lot of different people. You meet a lot of people that want to help you, that are genuine. You meet a lot of people that aren't genuine. That's with anything.
And what's going to be beneficial for them.
Yeah, everybody wants a piece of the pie.
Yeah. You know what? I'm for that as far as like helping each other out, but really helping each other out. Like you're going to do this, I'm going to do this for you, and we're both going to benefit equally. And with an understanding that, there's going to be like a benefit for it because, people's time is very precious.
Yeah.
So like all the knowledge and hours that you spent in like gathering all this data about like how to do the event and this and that, and I'm pretty sure you had failures but not really failures because you learn from whatever happened. Like, you know what, this is what I need to do, and all that stuff takes time.
Yeah.
All that talk is like experiences and things like that. And for anybody to just come and just like, what do you bring to the table? Like not to be like separate people or whatever, but like, what do you really bring? Because I bring all this and I already put a lot of hours into this. What are you bringing? So we can both take it to another level. We're just gonna try to milk what I have. It's just not gonna work.
It's really hard for me to work with people that I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to at least have known you for like 2 or 3 years to really be able to know just how you are as a person. It's hard for me to just be like, oh yeah, come work with us. Like, and I've never worked with you before because it's, like I said, it's a baby. It's like my own child.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people though that will hit us up and just be offering all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing though, even like it could take a lifetime and you might not even know somebody or something about somebody that you just like, you know? But I think you're good at reading vibes, and I think you're really good at that. I don't know, Stephanie. Apparently, she's done some stuff, and you know, I don't know her, but I'm pretty sure that whatever she's contributing, and y'all making a great team. Is it how many people is in her team now? It started y'all two, right?
It was her, so it's always. So I have another best friend. Her name is Ruby. Ruby worked really close to me as an artist. Was always there, travel with me. So Ruby is always there in the mix. But so it's Stephanie, Ruby. We have DJ Elusive. We have Miguel Castro, which is also very. He has his own production company that puts on EDM festivals. But he had reached out to me when I was an artist to be on some of his shows. So he always kind of was in the mix with us. And then Dummy Fresh, who is probably like one of my closest friends. He did all my art as an artist. Like we would always work together to create merchandise or whatever. So I would say Carne Asada Fest is also not only like, even though it's something that I created, I would say Dummy Fresh is the person that made it all tie together, look the way that it looks. Because he's the art, he's the logo, he's the flyers, you know, like what people see.
Yeah, it's like him and I. This is our thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can't do this. But I told him, like, give him the idea. And it was like edits back and forth. Like, no, do this, do that. No, do this. And then, you know?
So, yeah, I talked to Dummy probably so many times during the week. And he's always like.
I just got off the phone earlier.
He just called. But he's always like, Sonia, I'm not always going to be there. So you're going to have to learn the right words to say. Because, you know, I don't know the lingo when it comes to, like, design.
Yeah.
He like has to decode what I'm saying. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. He's like, no, I need you to say it. I need you to say it so that whenever you're working with somebody else, they know what you're talking about because I'm not always going to be there. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not always going to be there? Like, where are you going? But he's right. He tries to teach me so that I grow.
He has the good mindset because it's true though, right? We're trying to attach to everybody, but unfortunately sometimes it's not like that.
Yeah,
it sounds sad, right? But it's just part
true.
Of life. But it is part of life, and you have to be. He's a good person in your side because at least he's preparing you. Like, you need to know this for if anything happens, you know what I mean, and that's good. That's good to have because you don't ever think somebody's gonna go and then. You're gonna be left stranded and try to figure it out.
Even him, he's just such a successful artist. I mean, amazing artist that, there might come a time where he's just like, I can't collaborate with you. I don't have the time. I would be so heartbroken. I'm not going to put that in the universe. I don't want to think of that.
But you'll be happy for him, right?
Yeah,
because,
of course.
You know, he's been working hard too also. So, okay, the music, your music. So is it a family thing or is it, are you the first one that ever did music?
I was the first one to do music.
Okay, so 8 years old, you started. Did they take you to learn, like to school to do music?
So I didn't start learning, I guess, doing more of the lessons until I was in middle school. I would always sing at my family parties and learn songs. My sister would make me, at that time, she would record the songs from KNON on a tape.
Oh, yeah, back in the day, them tapes.
Then she would rewind it and write all the lyrics down for me. And then she would make me sing on her friend's voicemail. That would be their intro. It would be me singing.
That's cool. Hey.
I know. That's when I got my first big break.
You are an entertainer. I know you're doing this right now at this moment, but you are an entertainer. Even the interviews itself. I listened to all of them, and I was cracking up most of the time because it was enjoyable, right? And the people were good. Don't get me wrong. All the people were doing a great job, but you always knew how to shine, and I thought it was pretty entertaining. So you were meant for this as far as entertainment was. But I did hear something on one of the interviews that if I'm not doing any music, I'm still always gonna be part of music, and that made me think like, is she hanging up the gloves? Is it this a done deal for music or?
It's so crazy because everyone asked me like, why aren't you on the Carne Asada Fest lineup? And last year I did do it. And it was a cool experience, but I really am 100% focused on Carne Asada Fest and focus on the other projects that we're putting out. I have an LLC called 20X ENT, which is my production company where we house Carne Asada and we house other festivals we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I want to be an artist, I don't enjoy being an artist in the world we are right now in music. TikTok is amazing. Like I do a lot of covers. I've worked on a lot of songs and I'm like, I could just throw it and put it on TikTok and let them enjoy it. But I don't have time to go and push it and market it. Mm-hmm. I don't have time to go and do shows. I don't have time to do music videos. I mean, that took up so much of my time.
Yeah.
So
it shows in the final product though, because your videos are good quality.
Thank you.
Prophecy does a great job, and the other guys you're done. But they're
like, and everything was when I look at a song or I hear a song, I'm envisioning what the music video should look like. That's probably my thing about being creative is vision. Mm-hmm. I'm big on vision, and I will work myself down to the last minute to make sure things are, and I'm a perfectionist, and it gets very tiring. But if I can't do it at 100%, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah, because you can see it on the videos as far as certain details like the hair, like the story, because there's always a storyline. That Box of Secrets, when that dude was a criminal, you was a cop. I'm like, what? I saw it at the end. I'm like, what?
Did you ever see Did you ever see that I had a correlation to my other video called "Let You," where he came back?
Yeah. So I like Box of Secrets. I like the song, but it was weird to me because Tied Up was like, I don't know, it just gave me a weird joy.
Oh, you mean Let You?
Let You.
Yeah,
okay.
we said I love that song.
Yeah. Let You. You're right. I'm getting confused.
I like how it's a little bit more like thriller vibes. Like it was scary.
It was.
It was just like, she's kind of psycho.
You sold me on the Tied Up a little bit. A little bit more attitude, maybe punched him a couple times. But that's it, though. You were like, whoa. And then even Megan Rain had like a little storyline to it. And then what's the other one? The last one? Not the last one.
Impala?
Impala and the other one with the lowriders. I Could Never. That one was one of mine. Mm-hmm. I like those. But all of them had like again, good production.
Thank you.
So
I would say, I think I remember the interview that you're talking about, and I'm a songwriter at heart. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing that can stop me from being a creative. And I think that if I decide not to be an artist, I will always be a songwriter. And that's something that I can continue for the rest of my life and never have to worry about like, going and doing all this other extra stuff. Cause I look at artists in Dallas and I'm like, I know how y'all feel. Like I talk to them. I'm very close to a lot of artists in Dallas and they're just, trying to make it out here and they want to be recognized for their art and they want appreciation, and you're up against a lot of other artists. Like,
what I think is an issue with a lot of them, because I think your type of artist that is not the same type of artist that I know. Because I know some of the artists that I know that you might not know or heard of are doing decent numbers for some time. But I think a lot of them don't just, I know they want recognition, but after a while, why seek validation? We just put in the work all the time, and before you know it, everybody else comes knocking at your door, And a lot of the times it's just, I know it's hard work, but at the end of the day, you are going to be rewarded if you continually put the material, quality material, that is going to happen. So whether they want it or they're going to come to you.
So it's so easy to say that. Mm-hmm. I think that too. I mean, that's why I was just putting music out and just doing whatever. I think that too, 100%. But I also think that one of the biggest flaws in artists sometimes are overthinking. Mm-hmm. They overthink. If something doesn't do good, they don't want to put nothing else out, or they'll take it down, or they'll, they just kind of don't trust the process. They don't trust that.
Yeah.
I've seen so many times. Like I always tell myself, Megan Rain could come because somebody could discover it again, put it out on TikTok, and it all of a sudden is a new song.
Or in Europe.
Yeah, so sometimes people think if it doesn't do instantly good, it's not worth it, and they they don't want to get their feelings hurt and they don't want to do it anymore, and then they take a little break and then they try to come back and do it again. It's like, you can't take a break. You have to be consistent.
Yep.
You have to really believe in what you're doing, and eventually people will start paying attention. But it takes time to build numbers. It's kind of like walking a mile. Like, it's like you're gonna get to that mile, but you have to take every step. You don't just go from point A to point B. You don't fly over to point B.
And I get where they're coming from. Don't get me wrong, because like when you're doing the podcast, I wanted it to be like the numbers flying, but even if it's one subscriber, like it's, you know what I mean? But it's still like, you're right. It's the consistency in the process to keep putting stuff out. Like, you have to be disciplined in that part, and it's just one of the core principles that you, whether you want it or not, you got to be like ton of vision on it. You know, it's just by default. If you continue to, it's going to happen. There's no denying.
Exactly. And sometimes I always tell people, like, you know, I had a documentary that was done I think it was 2021, and I had a little viewing.
Is it out?
Yeah.
It's called
La Chismosa.
I didn't find it.
It's on YouTube.
Is it? How come I didn't find it?
I don't know.
Terrible.
It's okay.
Either that or the title, but I need to find it.
I'm going to be real honest with you. I didn't tell a lot of people about it. I was so shy during the making of that, because it was during the time where I didn't share a lot of my personal side.
Yeah.
And so
like you have kids.
Yeah, and my husband, and just like how I transition as an artist, how I do both roles. I didn't share a lot of that stuff, and I finally was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. And
but why is it that you? Because I see where you're coming from, right? Because the internet is weird. There's people that are very strange sometimes, asking you to stump cockroaches with your shoe and give you money. I'm just still crazy that you entertain that, anyways. But why did you want to protect them so much? Because I do the same thing. I hardly ever do you find me posting anything about my family if it's just not this.
So my first thought process was mainly being a female artist. They look at two things: can she sell? Is she a product? And they want
sex appeal.
Yeah. And so I'm 100%. I don't lead with like my sex appeal. I don't lead with that at all. But I mean, whenever somebody's going to look at me, whether it's a label and they're going to take me on, they're 100% are going to look at.
They want a package.
Yeah. The 100% they're going to look at, is she going to quit on us to go take care of her family? And is she going to have issues with her husband letting her do what she wants to do? So I knew what my family situation was and how we were going to work. I didn't think I needed to put that on display, and 100% safety reasons. I didn't want people knowing what my kids look like, because I'm really weird about that. And number two, again, I didn't want to give anybody an excuse to not at least give me a chance to show them my hard work. So all those 4 years that I was working really hard, I was doing both of those. And it wasn't until the documentary came out that people were like, I had no idea. And I was like, well, I'm glad, because y'all gave me a chance to just be an artist. A lot of the times, I'm sure if I would have showed them that I had kids at home and I had a husband, they would have probably been like, you need to go back and just be a mom, you know?
Yeah.
Because people do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't give them that chance. And if they say it now, I'm just kind of like, whatever, I'm doing whatever I want.
But to be honest, you're on the right path, because after a while, you feel like, I don't really have to explain. So I can allow it to.
Exactly.
But as people become more involved into like you as an artist or whatever you're doing, they just want to tune into anything that you see. They'll be like, you know what I mean? So I get that part too. But at the end, I think I want the money without all the other extra stuff, the fame. I really don't.
That's how I am now.
Yeah.
I say, people don't understand me now. I'm like, Monday through Friday, I look homeless. Because I enjoy, like, you know, people love Sonia Kilo, like, that comes out and like does this and has the hair and has the makeup. And I've had probably in the last 2 years, I've had so many different hair colors. And that's great.
It's surprising to me too, but I didn't even recognize you.
Yeah.
It's always not
it
always
was
a
blonde or red,
yep.
or like, you know, and it's cool. Like, I'm about to color it, but
it's damaging your hair so much. So.
But it's not just that. It's just, I really like to know people for who they really are. And I enjoy giving my real self now. And I enjoy people being like, I feel like I relate to you more. And I'm like, that's cool. You know?
So I had a previous guest that's saying that during this pandemic time, that's what it was missing, right? Like the connection with the people. That's why a lot of the videos on TikTok with displaying with your hands only wasn't as appealing that if you were showing face and people can connect with you. And I see the reason why they would be, because I think being separated for a year almost, and all of a sudden now we haven't seen people, and all of a sudden we just want to see what you're doing,
Yeah.
we miss you. What are you doing? Let me see. Oh, wow, is that what you're into? I think that's why a lot of TikTokers are blowing up for the same reason. They're just like, oh, wow, even though whatever you're going through life, but at the same time you see other people doing something like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love seeing regular people. And so that's one of the things that I always tell people, like, if I can be successful at this and not have to be famous, I've like met my goal.
Yeah, the songwriting would definitely be something that you can do because, you'll be in the back somewhere and just collecting the checks.
Well, in Dallas, I get recognized a lot. So, I mean, that's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't mind it, but I really enjoy just being cool, like homegirl.
I feel with you. Is that what the title was and the reason why you felt whenever you did that EP? Homegirl?
Because I had always got DMs from other girls that were just like, I feel like you're one of my friends. I feel like you know me. And so I called it Homegirl because I wanted this to be a gift from like me, your favorite homegirl.
Yeah, that's what's up. I like that. Okay, so you will be in the music, but you really don't know exactly where. Maybe writing, but you'll always be part of it. I really appreciated the product that you put out because, again, I would dabble a little bit on the music and the presentation itself. I'm all about that too. I want it to look good. Even though sometimes you two don't care that if it looks good or not. But at the end of the day, for me, want it to look a certain way. I want it to be like this, that, like everything.
Yeah, I love the cut.
Even the sweater.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. This whole time I'm looking at it and I'm just like, did you design that yourself?
No.
Oh.
I didn't design it.
Oh.
The place where I got it, just automatically done. It went to Teesprings. You just put the design and they just do that. But I rearrange it a little bit, to make it look cool. So thank you. Okay. Why did you entertain that man with a roach? Being in the health industry, what the heck were you thinking?
So honestly, I have a lot of people in my DMs, and sometimes just depending on what day it is,
Pervs.
I'll entertain them. Like there was a time that I really wanted a PS5 for obvious reasons for my son. I really wanted a PS5. And so every time that they would DM me and they would be like, be my sugar baby and blah, 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 I'd be like, you got a PS5? And so like I was trying everything to get a PS5. Yeah. That didn't work. I was like, I'll sell feet pics. But it just really just depends. Like I'm really interested in why people are the way that they are. And I mean, whatever. Like that one guy that was just like, can you fart in a jar for me?
Yeah. That all of them were interested. That are like, what the hell?
Why would people ask that? And you're like, I can clearly go and look at your profile and see who you are. Like this isn't anonymous at all. They have no shame.
You can put them on blast or whatever.
Yeah, I have a folder on Facebook that says what's in your DM. I scratched them out, but I put what's on there.
Yeah. Okay. So your first job, Wingstop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know how to make the wings.
Yeah.
But you never told anybody how to make the ranch. There's a secret to it.
It's really not a secret. I mean,
it's not no more.
Yeah, it's really not a secret at all.
And you're leaving us hanging. Even though I don't do that.
But lately, the ranch hasn't been tasting like it has been. I've been very disappointed. But I don't know if it's because the ingredients or you know how like not a lot of people want to work anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, it's new people.
I feel them.
It's new people all the time. Maybe they're just like not getting it down. But it's been watery. Very disappointed.
This is a quality of people.
Yeah.
How do you like your experience working there? How long did you work there for?
It was only in high school, and I think it was definitely less than a year. I didn't even have to work there. I only worked there because my friend was working there. She's like, you should come work with me.
You know what I like? Okay, so I think, well, for me at least, like when I was dabbing in music, I felt like I worked a lot, but there was no really direction to it. It was just being busy. But there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Mm-hmm. So did you feel like at certain times when you felt like you were working so much, it was work, but it wasn't like a purpose for it? Now that you're more mature, do you feel like it's with more direction and more intent? Or have you always been working with intent?
I've always been working with intent. I always had. I mean, before I did music, I always did music, but during the time that I was in school to get my degree, I also had launched, you're going to laugh, I had launched a t-shirt line called Knuckle Sandwich.
Knuckle? Mm-hmm. Sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I had basically got some like really hot girls to take like we would do photo shoots, but I would put a sandwich on their hand. I used to have a video of how I did it, and it would have the lettuce and I have the bread and it would be amazing, and I'd get them printed on shirts, and people would buy them. It was called Knuckle Sandwich. And sometimes the people that remember those shirts, they'll put in my comment section, bring Knuckle Sandwich back. But not a lot of people know about it. Well, now they are.
It's pretty interesting. All the interviews I've seen, I didn't see you mention it.
Yeah.
So I got an exclusive.
So even now, I always think of like what I want to do. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I work on a lot of stuff, 100%. And it's never not going to get done. It gets done.
Okay. So what is your most memorable performance that you did that you're like, man, this is it. This is what's up?
I would say the most memorable one was definitely the 97.9 The Beat Spring Fest, because at that time I had opened up for Danny Lay, which I love, and Meg the Stallion, who was big. I mean, I knew her, but she wasn't as big as she was now. And it was just the venue, and it was me being a new artist, and how like nervous I was. I remember I kept telling myself, I can't. When I got the call, I couldn't breathe. Mm-hmm. So it lasted for like the next 4 weeks. I couldn't breathe. Right. But I just remember that being a new artist.
Yeah. How hard is dodgeball?
Honestly, it's so funny. As you get older, it gets hard to throw the ball. You think you're throwing it really fast, but it goes so slow. Right. And then people are just dodging like this.
I did dodgeball with the smaller balls.
It's more intense.
Freaking hard.
Because it goes faster.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to try that.
I got hit in the face so many times. And you're right. The older you get, the next day.
You know what? I probably should change the balls then.
The smaller ones.
Or the ones that are less dense.
Yeah. They still hurt though. The one, man, there's people that throw.
You know, like the foamy ones?
Yeah, but they still hurt. So, trust me, they hurt. They hurt still.
I believe it.
Okay, so you know what? I was inspired by the fact that you had 3 jobs at one time trying to get studio time. How did you do it with the family?
Exactly.
Did you sleep? How many hours did you get into sleep at that time?
I think some nights I had only slept like 4 hours. I was a zombie during those times, and I was like, number one, we have a mortgage to pay.
Yeah.
I also still had student loans, so I was like, if I want to get this done, but I'm gonna get this done by any means necessary. So I had a weekend job, I had a night job, I had my regular, 8 to 5 job. It was hard. I don't recommend anybody doing that.
Yeah, I don't either. I did a full-time student at one time and full-time job, and I didn't have much time. But at that time, I didn't like sleep. Yeah. Like 4 hours was good. Like if I had 4 hours, I was good. But it's not healthy.
Yeah. It's not healthy at all. I think it aged me, actually.
You think so?
Back at that time, I'm probably sure I aged like 2 years. Usually I age really slow. But no, I think at that time I grew like...
It's the genetics. It's the genes. The same for me. I don't look like my age probably, but it's just the genes in me. Is that I don't know what it is. I have a theory that I think I'm somehow connected to people from the Philippines.
Oh, people say that to me all the time. They're like, you need to do ancestry.com. And then I get really nervous because I'm like, I don't want to find out other stuff, because there's some people that find out that they have other family members that they never heard of, and then they find out that it came from like it's a secret child.
Yeah, it's a secret child.
I'm not trying to do that.
I had that talk with one of my cousins.
What if I'm adopted?
My cousin wanted to do it. I'm like, okay. But first of all, there's not a lot of regulations that they can do whatever they want with your DNA. Mm-hmm. Secondly, they're not 100% super accurate yet to the point where it can really dictate like exactly what. And third, just remember, we live in a small town. So get ready to find out what the heck, like cousin with this and whatever. Because again, it's honest. Like that could happen. I'm like, do what you want, but I'm just
not that curious enough to give somebody my DNA. I'm kind of like, I'm cool.
I've been wanting to know, but I'm just like, no, I don't think so. Not until they put some regulations. If they can really trace down all the way to where I literally originated from, then I'm down. If not, they're just selling me a freaking wolf ticket. They can tell me I'm whatever, and I believe, and it's just what we identify, right? We'll take it as like, oh yeah, I'm Asian and I can do this and whatever. I'm this, so I'm good with that. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here. I think we touched up on a lot of things, and I appreciate the time. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
If somebody was to Google you years from now or some search engine, what do you expect for them to find for you? from you?
Hopefully, if it's from years from now, I hope that my legacy it shows the products or productions that I put out there, whether it be festivals. I'm hoping to also get into like screenwriting. So I hope like when they Google me, it just shows like a multitude of stuff.
Awesome. All right. And what's all your social media and where can they find the event for the Carne Asada Fest?
So they could definitely go to carneasadafest.com. My social media is Sonia_kilo. You can check out 20x_ENT. And also Carne Asada_Fest on all platforms.
All platforms. All right. Again, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Remember, we are we are just like you. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is well. Till next time.
Todos en este